Nothing quite says 90s, like an undercut haircut, skateboarding, and your midriff showing? How does that work? Hey, toy fans. To continue on with last week's episode, and I'll put the link up there so you can see it. There you go. To go along with last week's episode, I did Ming the Merciless, and then I had ordered a whole bunch of these and decided, okay, we're going to bring in some more. And so I picked up Flash Gordon in the, let's get him right here. Flash Gordon in the Mongo outfit. So we've got the Flash Gordon that's the normal character from the cartoon. I did finally break down and watch. The first episode's really rough to get through. You get up a few episodes. I think Tubi had it at number 7. Watch number 7 and on. They actually start to pick up. They get really good. But this is Flash with his 90s midriff here. Exciting, huh? And of course his undercut. So we're going to take a look at Flash. But then as a bonus, I also nabbed this. Now this is what I had when I was younger and kind of kicked myself for getting rid of it, and I was able to get a hold of another. So I got it here. It's the Triphibian. And this is the Land, Sea, and Air Flash Gordon Mongo vehicle that gets you around everywhere. Pretty cool. In the cartoon, they have it as a 4-seated vehicle. This is just a 1-seated. We'll talk about that when we get into the review, okay? So, what do you say? Let's get into it.
Tay Ray Gun's Old School Toy Review.
And this is the Triphibian inside the Flash Gordon box. Now, again, I absolutely love the design that they've done with this Flash Gordon series, with the lightning bolt and the really hard red and yellow contrast, and even the box art with the very bright kind of purple and magenta colors and Ming's giant blue face looming over everything. It really does carry this sense of uber fantasy, which I dig. It reminds me a lot of what we got with some Master Universe work. It reminds me really more of what we got with Black Star. So I really dig the box art, and it's something that kind of draws your eye in, and it's nice. It really is nice. Now, much like what they've done, Playmates did like with Star Trek. They started doing stock numbers, collectible numbers, that sort of thing. I never really paid too much attention to it, but we do have a banding of that there at the bottom. And then on top of it, we got, an as seen on TV sticker on the side. And then, of course, an actual picture of the actual toy itself. That's the front of the box. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side. Of course, on the side, we get the Flash Gordon logo, and then we get, some pictures of the car itself. So we kind of get the same thing. That's on this other side as well, along with the top. Same thing. And again with the bottom. Now, the big difference is when we get to the back. Now, on the back of this, we have a little blurb about the show itself and about the story that's going on over to the side on top of the Flash Gordon logo. We get the actual name that's called a Triphibian. It's Flash's multi-purpose land, sea, and air vehicle. So this thing, with your imagination, can go anywhere, which makes it a lot of fun. I like that it has the blurbs about it. It says sleek Mongo design for unparalleled aerodynamics. That's kind of fun. Free spinning wheels, so we know that it does have wheels on it. A dual push button goon gun, so we've got, looks like 2 sort of missiles here. A flash air sled launcher, and I remember how that worked when I had it before, so this is a lot of fun. And the spring stellar powered docking system. So we're going to get to check this out and really get into it. Down here we get pictures of some of the things that it does, missiles, the air sled, and then the design there. I think this one is going to be top notch. From what I remember having it from before, I think this one's going to be well worth our time. Now let's take a look at Flash. So much like Ming the Merciless, we get Flash in his Mongo battle suit on the same type of card, and they've got that really nice kind of lightning bolt motif that comes up almost to the Flash Gordon logo up at the top, and it's done really well. I remember seeing some of these things on shelves back in the day, and they really do stand out. This is kind of like what you want your Flash Gordon packages to look like. They work really well. That bright yellow stands out. The red lightning bolts look great. And Flash looks good in this particular setup. I like how they have everything displayed within the bubble. So you get Flash, his air sled, Tri-Blaster hand weapon, and a Rebel Visiguard. So we've got, a couple of extra accessories with them, along with the stylized Flash and his red Mongo attacking outfit. I will say, all in all, the midriff kind of throws me off. I'm not obviously I can't wear midriff because I don't have the same six-pack that he does, but for him being a teenager, the Alex Gordon from the cartoon is a teenager that skateboards, he's a little too amped up to be that young. He looks a little bit older than that, and I don't know if that was meant to be for the toys versus the actual cartoon, or if the cartoon came later or what, but I do know that there is a little bit of design difference between the two just based on the stature of the characters themselves. Much like the Triphibian, there's, some cross-seller on the back, a little blurb about what's going on. And then this time we get a follow card of Flash, and it's a follow card of Flash from the eyes of Ming the Merciless and his cronies. So, it's all about the bad news about Flash, which I think these are kind of fun. And that's it for the package. Now, much like the Triphibian, this is all that we have. They're not going to tell us anything else about this. We need to open them up and see what's inside. And I must admit, I absolutely love this design of the two together. I think that it works really well. Even that red, jet sled with Flash and the design of his costume and everything. It's really cool. The paint app is a little glossy, but a lot of that I can forgive. But that Triphibian design is absolutely beautiful. I love it. And these two look good together. So starting out, let's actually take a look at Flash Gordon first, okay? So we'll put the Triphibian kind of off to the back, and we're going to take a look at Flash only. Now with Flash, he does come with several accessories. He has the Rebel pad, which is like an identification pad. And again, much like the communicator with Ming, no sort of decal on it, so it's just plain. He does get this nice little blaster here. It's pretty cool, and it's got some paint application. And it's supposed to fit in this hand, however, I found it fits and looks a lot better in this hand, almost like holding a phaser. Kind of makes me wish that hand was open now. And then, of course, we get the jet sled. Now this time, instead of the jet sled being in purple or magenta, we get it in this kind of bright red that matches his Mongo outfit. And much like the other, it rolls, and it's covered on the bottom and top. It's actually really nice. These jet sleds are very cool to have. Now with Flash, we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of articulation. He does have a hinged waist, and because of the hinging on the waist, you get a little bit of overlap where his waist kind of goes across his pants a little bit. That's a little strange. We've seen that with other toys before. And then he's got these side hinges. Now, one thing I will say, because of the way his legs sit, that makes it really hard for him to sit in that Triphibian. You actually kind of have to push the legs down. Even that still is kind of hard. You almost have to place him completely forward to shove him in there. He doesn't sit the best. You have to kind of play with his pose to get him in. He does have the hinge elbows and nothing hindering that articulation. And then let's talk about his head and neck. Now, the head itself is pretty good. These comes in two parts. So you've got the undercut, you got the face. And I like the sculpting of the face. But right here in the neck, he's got just a really weird bit of neck there. I'm not sure why that is the way it is. If it was supposed to be an Adam's apple or something, it's so strange. In proportion, like I know that, his head seems a little bit smaller to the rest of his body, but sometimes it looks fine, other times it doesn't. And I think it's because of that Gorder kind of looking thing there on his neck that makes it so weird. All in all, I think he's a pretty good figure. He's a little overposed, and it makes him hard to sit with the way his legs are posed out like this. I'm not a big fan of how they did that hand. It really bugs me. But I am glad that they were able to have it to where he's able to hold all the accessories by finally having a hand that's open. So, bravo, Playmates. Now, let's take a look at that Triphibian. Now, this is kind of the all in all, like the best part of this. Like the sculpting on it going all the way around is just absolutely phenomenal. And the stickers on it, I mean, this is such a great piece. Now, those plate features work like this. Up here, after you load in both of these missiles, you can press it once, boom, press it again, and there they go. And of course, when you retrieve them, take them, set them back in, and you have to make sure they're lined up. Locked into place, and locked into place. Now, the other play feature that they have is this. So, after you pull that out to the side, you're going to lock it back. Okay. Then you would take Flash Gordon here, put him on his air sled, and this is supposed to sit right up into that peg on the back of the air sled, like that. Driving along, press the button, and he shoots off. And it's a pretty neat kind of function. I dig it. I think it's kind of cool. I could definitely see this if you have like Dell or another character in this Triphibian and then you want to shoot Flash off. It makes sense, and it kind of pushes the character off into action. Now, it only works if this is in street mode landing, and of course the air sleds also having wheels or sliding across the floor. Can't really fly this thing around with the air sled attached to it. That's just something to keep in mind. Okay, that's the review. Really big fan of this. I like this a lot. I love the design of it. It's got such a very futuristic yet functional kind of design from the past that we've seen with the organic look. It reminds me of a car from like maybe the 30s, 40s, so kind of Art Deco style. I dig it. I think this is such a keep. I don't think it's ever leaving my collection again. I really like it. I was appreciative that they added the extra articulation at the waist. But much like Ming, I was kind of hoping that we'd have gotten knee articulation on this, because Ming had the knee articulation and the hips that made him, have the legs move forward and out. This has it cut it aside, which makes it a little bit difficult to pose, especially getting into and out of a vehicle. The hands, and I know I talked about it, I'm not a big fan of that closed-in hand, because that only allows for him to hold this in that hand. And this actually fits much better in this hand. That has more of a very ergonomic look, and it feels like it rests correctly in this other hand. Cost on these. The Triphibian came in right at about $20, which is what I expect. They're right about $25, $30. You can find these about $25. I got mine, got mine for $18. I take it back. I made a deal on it. With Gordon, he usually runs at about $10 to $15 carded. This one came in at about $7. So $7, $18, $25 for the total. For the character that we're getting, the main character and one of the most coveted vehicles of the line, I'm going to say that $1 sign for the two of these. I would expect both of these to be about $35. So I got a really good deal. As far as stars on these, 4.5 out of 5 stars for the two of them. I think they are really good toys. These are worth having around, and I dig them. I like the fact that Flash holds both his pad, his blaster, and still rides on his air sled. It also knows a skateboard. So, good toys to have. All right, now remember, they're not dolls. They're action figures. Action figures in all red with nice lightning bolt motif on it. Ooh, Flash. This episode of Tay Ray Gun was sponsored by Marvin Dog Media. To learn more about Marvin Dog Media, visit www.marvindogmedia.com. If you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below to let YouTube know that you like what I'm making. And be sure to hit that bell notification so you get updates to future content.